Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Infield Fly, talking baseball with you following a Memorial Day weekend. And we will recap the past week in Major League Baseball, look ahead to what's coming up this week as well, plus some of the big stories going on in Major League Baseball. I'm Rob Fisher. I'm a Cardinals fan, although today supporting Ronald Acuna and the Atlanta Braves after that news that we'll get to here in a moment. Keith Murphy, he's a Cubs fan. Uh-oh.
They're going crazy, Fish.
Uh-oh.
They're already calling for his head, Fish. Already. This early in the season, which is ridiculous. I'm trying to tell him to calm down, but yeah.
Yeah, Cubs fans got to calm down a little bit. And Braves fans like Lang Whitaker.
Yes.
It's a sad week. It's a sad week.
It's a sad week. It's been a sad season.
Which is crazy because the Atlanta Braves, I heard yesterday, I guess it was, they're only one game behind where they were last year at this point.
Yeah. But
It doesn't feel like it, though.
14 of the last 25. We've lost 2 of the 10 best players in baseball this season for the season. Hasn't been a lot of fun.
No, not at all. And that's the top story of the week. Ronald Acuna tearing his ACL. It was terrible to watch. As he just fell to a heap on the floor there at between second and third base at Pittsburgh. And you knew it wasn't good, I think, from the get-go. And then when Braves came out and said it's a sore left knee issue, you kind of knew, well, that's not good either. Because it is the knee that he was grabbing at. And then you get the news that it's a torn ACL. He's done for the season. I mean, it's not only terrible for the Braves, it's terrible for Major League Baseball.
I was partially hopeful when it happened because it wasn't the knee he tore the ACL previously.
Right.
It was the other knee. And Acuna has this history of, like, whenever there's an injury, he goes down and it looks like he's like the worst injury possible. And then, an inning later, he's back out there and he's fine. So I was hoping, okay, maybe this is just Ronald being Ronald and it's not that bad. But it was that bad. So
They're saying the whole year, right?
yeah. He's having surgery, I guess, this week, and then he'll be out for the season.
Murph, bad for everybody in baseball.
Oh, it's horrible. Like I told you that, if I wasn't a Cubs fan, I'd probably be a Braves fan. Because the Braves and the Cubs are the only 2 teams that just got so much play in households because of the superstation that was,
Yeah.
And, my old man was a Hank Aaron's fan. So, I probably would have been a Braves fan if it wasn't for, the fact that, he was a Cubs fan. But he loved Hank Aaron. Never really had that much negative stuff to say about the Braves. So I never disliked the Braves. Sometimes I even rooted for them. I rooted for them in the 90s. The worst part about this is that this kid came into the league with so much joy. And a lot of people get down on it. Why are you dancing? And why are you acting, why are you acting a fool on the bases? And you just can't contain that joy, man. Like that's great for baseball. It's not just great for the Braves. So I hope he comes out of this stronger than ever. But Lang, it's a compliment to that staff, that team, that the fact that they just don't seem to give up. I know it's bad. I know it's bad, but it is almost like next man up thing.
The night when that happened, like all the Braves fans that I'm friends with were all texting each other, and the thing I kept saying is, man, the last time Acuna tore his ACL, we won the World Series.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were like, well, we didn't have Strider go down also. And I was like, true, but we only had 2 starters left by the end of the season. It was just Ian Anderson and Max Fried, and then just whatever we could get by with the rest of the time. So, next man up. I mean, that Braves team managed to go out and get, Soler and Eddie Rosario and some other guys who, Jock Peterson, those guys came in and like filled some holes. So I would imagine if this team's going to make a run, they're going to have to go get another something in there.
Definitely. They're going to have to
But, Austin Riley came back this weekend. Sean Murphy came back this weekend. Ian Anderson's coming back at the All-Star break. Like, I think they're just trying to kind of get through the next few weeks and get everyone out there. I mean, Adam Duvall is not a bad fill-in. for Acuna, and now you get Duvall, Kelnick, and Michael Harris playing every day in the outfield for the time being. So
Well,
I don't know.
it's a great, like, I was a spectator to see Michael Harris just suddenly turn it on again against us.
Yeah.
So like when that started happening, I was like, uh-oh, if this
Yeah.
dude just starts to turn it on again, it might be, might be another run.
The Braves really need like Riley to get going. I mean, he's been out for the last 2 weeks, so they need him to get going. And Olsen has not been good this year. For the most
What's up with
part.
Olsen, man? What do you
He
think?
finally started. He hit one into the river in Pittsburgh this weekend. Like he finally started to kind of hit a little
Right.
bit. So maybe he's turning the corner. And Sean Murphy hasn't played since opening day, so getting him back is helpful too. So I don't know. It's been I mean, losing Strider really sucked at the beginning of the year, and then to add this on, I tweeted this tweet. I retweeted somebody. Like 2020 was the COVID season. 2021, Acuna tore his ACL, and that was the year he was kind of on the MVP pace. The next season he comes back and he was kind of like hobbled from the ACL thing. 2022, finally healthy. 2023 wins the MVP. This year he tears his ACL again. So he's had like one healthy full season the last few years, and he won the MVP. And even this year, like in spring training, he hurt the knee. He'd had the surgery on, and they sent him to the doctor, and they did all this, and they said it was they shut him down for a couple of weeks. He came back for the start of the season, so he wasn't like 100% coming into this season. So I mean, at some point, I don't know if we have the conversation: is Ronald Acuna injury prone? Or is he a little fragile? I mean, I probably shouldn't bring this up, but the cynical fan in me wondered if that contract we signed him to, that long-term contract that everyone felt like, oh, this is an incredible deal. Maybe it's not that good a deal if he's going to be hurt all the time, So I don't know. There's a lot to kind of process and think about down the road, but hopefully he gets through this and he'll be fine.
Yeah, it was rough, tough injury, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Braves and their week coming up in a moment. But a couple of other headlines from the week. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, stated that robot home plate umpires are not likely to be implemented in the MLB anytime soon, but a challenge system is being considered. He says becoming more and more likely this will not be a go for 2025.
Oh, they're chickening out.
But they got to do the challenge thing. Like that's pretty obvious.
Like, how many challenges you gonna get?
You get as many as you can until you get 3 wrong. It's wide. I went to the Redbirds game a couple weeks ago, and they have it in the minors. And if you challenge the call, like you do this, and it's like tennis. It comes up on the scoreboard fast. It takes like 20 seconds. They show the pitch, and then the umpire's like, all right, this call is right or wrong. But you're allowed as many as you want until you get 3 wrong. And once you get your 3rd one wrong, then you're not allowed anymore.
Right.
For the game?
Got to do that. Yeah, for the game. As many as you want for the game.
So I was surprised. I thought it was per inning or, something like that. I didn't know it was for the whole game.
Yeah.
All right.
And speaking of, Angel Hernandez reportedly is retiring.
Yeah. I mean, that's the gift that keeps on giving for baseball fans. Wow. Have you guys seen all those threads on Twitter of like all
yes. The thing that CJ sent us.
Yeah, all those missed calls. Like, oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
I've never seen any official in any sport so polarizing as Hernandez. And there's like soccer officials that people hate.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like,
hardcore soccer fans, they hate this certain person.
It's not really that polarizing. Like, people kind of know that, like, no one likes him. Everyone agrees.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's not like polarizing in the sense that like some like him and some don't. Everyone hates him.
Right.
He's united baseball fans from teams of all across the baseball. Did you see the clip last night of CC Sabathia talking about him after a game?
I've not. Did not.
It was great. He just ripped him after one game in the playoffs, and he was like, "That guy shouldn't be umpiring." He goes, "I think you could go ask the other locker room. They'd say the same thing. He's terrible."
Well, and the thing is, this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of those clips are like not even in HD. Like the clips of him blowing calls, like it is brutal.
All right. I got a Tony Gwynn fun fact of the week.
All right.
Okay.
We love these.
541 plate appearances, basically a whole season. 541 plate appearances against 18 Hall of Fame pitchers. He hit 331.
Jeez.
with probably like 4 strikeouts or some crazy thing, Yeah.
Sometimes, Fish, I think you just be lying with these. Like I just,
You could
it's so
just make them
great.
up, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you got to be making this stuff up. Like this is ridiculous.
It is nuts. All right, the Braves did have not a great week. They played a lot of games though, 4-5 since we last spoke, to go to 30-21. Split a doubleheader against San Diego, won 2 of 3 at Chicago, lost 2 of 3 at Pittsburgh, lost to Washington. Ozuna, a couple more home runs, 3 home runs. He's got 15 now on the year. Olsen's up to 8, hit 3 home runs this year. Sale got another win. He's 8-1. 2 wins in the week. He's 8-1. He continues to be one of the biggest stories, not only for the Braves, but in baseball right now.
Yeah, Chris Sale's been our best player, honestly.
Yeah.
I saw a stat
which
today.
Is nuts.
I know. I saw a stat today that he's where's this number? I had it up on my screen here. He has a 1.17 ERA during his winning streak. 58 strikeouts and 4 walks in 46 innings. He has a 0.69 ERA in his last 6 starts with 1 or no runs in each of them. I was watching one of those games, and the broadcast was CJ Nitkowski's the Braves color analyst, and he was saying like every pitcher has a bad start every once in a while, and you'd expect one of these starts for him to give up a couple of runs, but to give up 0 or 1 in all these starts is unbelievable. I mean, Charlie Morton got shelled yesterday. He gave up 4 runs in the first inning. Like every once in a while it happens. You got a bad one. Max Fried got shelled at the start of the year. So I told you guys at the beginning of the year I wanted Chris Sale just wrapped in bubble wrap and put him away till the fall. Like at this point, he's carrying our pitching staff, and the Braves pitching staff's actually been pretty good between him and Lopez and Fried and Morton. So the bats are what's got to get going. I don't know. I've heard people grumbling about our hitting coach, and I don't think it's that.
Not the hitting coach.
Yeah, you know who the hitting coach is?
They're always the first to go.
Long time major leaguer. You guys will remember Kevin Seitzer.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been a hitting coach for a few years, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but nobody's been able to hit consistently this year.
Well, it felt like watching Braves games last year that it got started in the first inning and it was boom, 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 hit, score a run. You're playing with a lead from the get-go. And it doesn't feel that way this year. It also felt last year like, well, they're good for 4 runs every single game. Doesn't feel like that right now with this lineup.
Even yesterday when the Nationals scored 4 runs in the top of the first, we get to the bottom of the first, the Nationals are starting like some rookie guy who's hitting like his 4th start. And the Braves make 3 outs on 5 pitches. And I was like, work the count, man. We just went through a long first inning, and the first 3 guys come up and just swing out, swing out, swing out. Next, I was like, come on, man. That's the part that bothers me. It's just I can't criticize them for swinging at pitches they think they can hit, I guess, but
right.
It was just frustrating. On top of the Acuna week of sadness. So
yeah. Well, Max Fried has held hitters to an .075 batting average over his last 4 road starts. Lowest batting average allowed by any pitcher over a span of 4 road starts in the modern era. How about that? Yeah. Max Fried. Good for him. Cubbies, meanwhile, a 1-5 week to fall to 500 on the season. Lost 2 of 3 to Atlanta, lost 2 in St. Louis, and then lost at Milwaukee as well. And it seems like one of the themes here is how the bullpen blows up.
Fish. The last game against the Brewers kind of encapsulates everything about the bullpen. Yeah. Like you get a stellar 7 shutout innings from Steele. The dude is dealing. It's just we're locked in. It's a scoreless, and next thing you know, the bullpen comes up and just literally blows it. Literally blows it. I swear to God, I turned off the game because I'm like Lane. Sometimes I get nervous, and I get a little weird, and I think I do my old, if I don't watch it, they'll win, all that superstitious baseball stuff nonsense that we grew up with. So right. I turned the game back on. It was 0-0, 1-0 or something like that. I turned it back on. It's 1-5. And then I'm reading up, and they're like, yeah, it's the bullpen again. But it's more than a bullpen, Fish. We're not getting timely hits. We're not getting men off base. We're not moving men off the base. It's just the home run power has been like putrid. RBI powers putrid. Bullpen is beyond putrid. So I don't even know where we go from this. I mean, you know, people are talking about, you know, we need a big bat, trying to get a big bat. I just think it's more than that. Yeah, that the bullpen is just terrible though, Fish. It's just horrible.
And don't look now, but the Cardinals are even with the Cubs in the
yes,
loss column.
I recognize that, and that's what I think. What hurt most about this whole week was just getting swept by the Cardinals.
Yeah,
that hurt.
Cardinals had a 5-1 week. They swept 3 against Baltimore.
Baltimore.
And then won 2 against the Cubs. Goldie's on fire. He hit 3 home runs this week to get his total up to 6. Sonny Gray with a big win to go to 6-2. Lance Lynn's first win since April 16th. Nolan Gorman hit his 8th home run. Cardinals are 10-3 since Ali lost his mind. Yeah. And yeah. And
Sonny
went
Gray,
off on the umpires.
Sonny Gray has been an anchor for you guys.
Yeah.
Sonny Gray has been the guy, like whenever you start bleeding, that dude comes up and he just gives you some solid innings and he makes you believe that you can win a game. I think that's probably top 3 most comprehensive type signing of the whole season. Like just the most important signing of the whole season. Like when you stack it down, that guy's been golden for you. And he steadied the ship. He steadied the ship while everybody else was struggling.
Which is sad because 2 weeks ago I thought they might have to trade him.
You were sad about losing the guy that they'd had for 3 weeks.
Yeah, because he is the best pitcher on the staff. But and it felt like, oh yeah, you might have to trade him because you could get so much value for him. And but now the Cardinals, you know, you got all these teams in this division that think they can make it to the playoffs. And the Cardinals are only a half game out of the wild card, tied with the Cubs in the loss column. Here come the Cardinals, despite me writing them off 2 weeks ago.
I don't know what to say, Fish. Only thing I have to say is that this division is really loopy. It's strange. No one's scared of each other. Like no. I would not be surprised if the Red is just all of a sudden just gone or run. Like that's how crazy this. Like I when I play Pittsburgh, I'm in jitters. When I play you guys, I'm jitters. Like there's no easy. Oh, we should be able to beat this team in our division. None of that, man. None of that. Yeah. Like everybody's just. It's like Gladiator, man. Like
well, like and the problem is, I think I look at the Cardinals and I think I don't know. I don't know how confident I am that this can last. I mean, there are just so many no-name guys in this lineup who are actually playing above themselves right now. That how long can that last?
I mean, the
good news is the Cardinals are getting the pitching. I mean, the new pitching has been good for the Cardinals. The problem had been the offense. The problem had been the defense. The problem had been fundamentals. Well, they're doing all those things right now.
The problem had been the offense, the defense, and the fundamentals.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all. Just a few things to tweak.
Look like they're tweaking them.
Yeah. But they're doing well right now.
At the right time, too.
At the right time, exactly. They got hot. So now they think all is well.
We're bringing that back again?
Yeah. That's the motto of the Cardinals.
When they get hot, it works.
It works, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it continues. The Philadelphia Phillies cooled off a little bit, a 4-3 week, but they're still 38-17 on the season. Swept 3 at Texas, lost at San Francisco. Had the best 50-game start in franchise history, but Ranger Suarez did lose a game.
Finally.
Yeah, and it was dumb of me. I bet a game, and I always say one of my rules of baseball is don't bet games in Colorado. And Ranger Suarez pitched in Colorado, and he lost a game. So that's what happens when you go to Denver.
Who was the ump that threw out
Harper
in that game? What was that all about?
Yeah,
what did Harper say to that dude?
It didn't look like anything.
Yeah, right. It didn't look like anything. It just
it was on the check swing thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was weird.
and then he got thrown out, and it was in the first inning of the game too.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it didn't look like anything to be thrown out of a game for.
The first
But-
inning of the game, Fish. Like they
Yeah.
did not come to. I know it's cliche to say they didn't come to see the umps, but come on, dude.
And at the end of the day, Harper was right. Like he didn't. I mean, I guess it was questionable, the check swing.
It could
but
have, Lang. It could have went either way. It's just not enough for you to throw the man out.
Yeah.
Unless he called your mom.
Maybe he said, yeah, maybe he said something bad. I didn't. I thought Harper was like pretty like conservative, and I didn't think he even cursed his stuff for some reason. And then like he was cursing on some of the other stuff he was saying. Like, you could read his lips, but yeah.
Yeah. In the National League East, the Phillies are on top, as we mentioned. The Nationals are in third place right now, 24-28, followed by the Mets, who are 22-30, a 1-5 week for the Mets. They're 3-10 in their last 13, and then Miami at 18-36. Mets are, well, they're kind of funny.
Lane, you were right about them. I was giving them too much, not hope, but trying to give them something, because it just seemed like they were battling and scruffing it out and making games tough for other teams. But man, that collapse is something crazy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Milwaukee in the Central, they still lead at 31-22, lost 2 of 3 at Miami, won 2 of 3 at Boston. Benches emptied in Boston. Did you see or hear about this brawl?
I did.
It wasn't a brawl. It was just a bunch of dudes
I did
yelling.
not see it. You got to give me the description for this.
So the score is 2-1. Boston's leading, or maybe Milwaukee was leading. I don't even know who was leading. But then Milwaukee lays down 2 bunts. They try to bunt for a hit twice in a row. And the reliever for Boston got angry. His reason is swing the bat. He said, "This is the big leagues. Swing the bat."
What?
Shut up. If I
make
was the first base coach for Milwaukee, I would have said the same crap that he was saying. He looked over and he's like, "Are you talking to us? Shut the hell up." And then the bench is empty because of it. Because they bunt. And then I'm looking at the story and I'm like, wait a second, was it like 5-0 or
Right. You
was
can
it like
understand
9-0? It was a 2-1 game.
Right.
The funny part was that there was a camera crew on the field. Did you see that? Like as the teams were all kind of standing around, there was, I don't know, was that game on Apple TV or something? Like there for some reason there's a camera crew and a guy with a boom microphone out there in the back of the fight. Filming it all, like just right in the middle of it.
You sure you weren't watching the Naked Gun movie?
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
Oh, meanwhile, Pittsburgh's in 4th place in the Central at 25-29. Cincinnati 24-30 because of the Cubs in 2nd. Cardinals right there in 3rd, tied in the loss column with the Chicago Cubs. In the National League West, the Dodgers, they're at the top, although they've lost 5 straight games. They had a 1-5 week, lost 2 of 3 against Arizona, and then they were swept 3 games at Cincinnati. Yamamoto went 1-1 on the week. He's now 5-2 on the season. Teoscar Hernandez hit his 12th home run. Shohei's playing injured.
Yeah, we know.
Got a bad
injury.
hip. Yeah. Bad hip. San Francisco, meanwhile, 28-27. They signed left-hander Drew Pomeranz to a major league contract 3 years after he last pitched in the big leagues. Of course, Drew Pomeranz went to Ole Miss. San Diego, 28-28. Arizona, 25-27. Colorado, 19-34. In the American League, in the East, the Yankees leading the way, a 4-2 week for them. They're 37-17. They split 4 with Seattle. They won 2 of 3 at San Diego. Juan Soto against his former team. He went deep in his first at bat against the Padres. He had a 2-home run game earlier against Seattle. So 3 home runs on the week. He's got 14 now on the season. Aaron Judge is up to 17 home runs, by the way.
I just came out of nowhere. Wasn't it just like a couple of weeks ago we were saying how this dude was scuffling, and now he's just ringing them out like crazy.
Yeah. Well, then maybe they've changed the balls. Maybe they changed the baseballs.
He gets special ones because he's on the Yankees.
He gets special ones. Yeah.
By the way, just for a second, we're talking about New York baseball. Pete Alonso, and we talked about why the Mets haven't re-signed him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's batting like 215 or something like. And last season he also batted like 215 for the season. Last season he also had like 50 home runs and 100 and something RBIs. Actually, I brought it up a second ago and let it go. But he's had the two worst, by percentage, I suppose, hitting seasons he's had these last two seasons. So I mean, I'm sure the Mets aren't going to come out and cite that, but yeah, 217 last year. He's up to 230 now, but he had 46 home runs and 118 RBI last year. So I mean, does that play a part in this Pete Alonso thing? Do you think the fact
Oh
that
yeah,
he's
hell yeah, it has to.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has to. And he's not hitting this year. And they're saying that they're worried he's going to be one of those lumbering, big,
yeah,
hitting guys that doesn't translate well into his contract as the years go by. So
yeah.
I guess that might be the reason.
Anyway,
I think it's part of the reason for sure. I mean, we've talked about it before. When guys are hitting bombs, but you're hitting 215. I mean, what's the value there?
yeah, like the Phillies dude.
Schwartz.
Yeah, Schwarber.
But he brings balance because he hits them when they count. He always seems to hit them when they count. Seriously.
Yeah, but he's still batting 200 or whatever it is. You know, like,
right? But it's still big home runs when they need him. So Plus, he's not supposed to be your star.
No,
you can do that.
Alonso is.
Yeah, Alonso is supposed to be a star. You can't have that from your superstar. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can be like Ozuna and just hit home runs and not be the star. If you're like the DH,
Right,
like,
right.
Yeah. The American League East Yankees game and a half up on Baltimore. Baltimore swept in 3 games in St. Louis. First time they were swept in 2 years. Gunnar Henderson did hit his 16th. He hit his 17th later in a series at Chicago against the White Sox. They swept the 3 games against the White Sox. Kyle Bradish had 7 no-hit innings, 11 strikeouts, and improved to 1-0 on the season. He was pulled from that game after 7 no-hit innings, and they ended up losing the no-hitter, but won the game.
What you think about that, Fish? I got issues with that.
I don't know, man. I mean, we're just at that point. It's the way baseball is. If you're at 100 pitches, you're done. I mean, if you finish 7 innings and you're at 102 or 101, you're done.
I just think they could have let him stay maybe for the 8th inning, maybe.
Yeah, but what's the difference if you pull him after 8?
You're more likely probably to win the game. Like you give your chance a better chance. Like if he's locked in, what's to say he's not locked in?
Unless it's like his 3rd or 4th time through the lineup or something. I don't know. Like if the hitters are seeing him for a 4th time or a 3rd time and they've, maybe they figure, all right, now they're going to be able to hit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You just see it so often now. You'll see more attempts at no-hitters on combined no-hitters than you will individual no-hitters going forward. I mean, it's hard for guys, especially guys who can throw no-hitters, who throw so hard and strike out so many guys. That, just ends up pitches just keep piling up and piling up and piling up, that it's hard to get in the 8th inning with just 85 pitches thrown. It just is. And that's the biggest issue with the no-hitter. So it didn't surprise me at all. I not to get it, but it doesn't surprise me that that's just kind of where we are now.
Okay.
Toronto's discussing moving Bichette and Vlad.
Wow. Well,
I mean, 24 and 29. They beat the White Sox for their first series win this month. And now Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero could be on the move.
I'll get in line for Vlad.
I don't know. If I was them, I might keep those guys and move everyone else.
You sound very Norm Macdonald right now.
Yeah, I mean, but does that make sense? Like,
it does make sense, but in the wacky,
the good guys and then you get rid of the other guys.
Very sardonic. Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
It's a little obvious, but whatever.
Yeah.
Boston 27 and 27. Rafael Devers homered in 6 consecutive games. That's a Red Sox record. And Tampa in the basement. Or no, Toronto's in the basement, but Tampa 1-5 week. They're 26 and 28, not doing very well either. American League Central, Cleveland at the top. They've won 9 of their last 10, 6-1 in the week, 35 and 18 on the season. They swept the Mets in 3 games. They swept the Angels in 3 games. And then they lost to Colorado. See what happens? See what happens with Colorado?
That's what happens.
9-game win streak snapped. Jose Ramirez has 14 home runs. Josh Naylor up to 13. Cleveland just keeps winning. They keep winning games. Keep winning. They have one of the best records in all of baseball. But do we believe in them?
Nobody talks about it for some reason. I have no idea why. When you got a record like that, they should be the headline.
Did you see the clip or the thing about Jose Ramirez he got the Barry Bonds treatment? Like he got walked with someone on first. And,
oh wow.
Or something like that. And by the Angels, and they asked him about it, and he said, "Well, I'm better than Barry Bonds."
Oh.
Oh, he got pitched around with the bases loaded. That's what it was.
Oh, that's Barry Bonds treatment right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Kansas City's in second place. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They swept 3 against Detroit and then won 2 of 3 at Tampa Bay. Big week for Bobby Witt Jr. As Kansas City continues to move up. They're 2.5 back of Cleveland. Minnesota has fallen a little bit. They are 6.5 back, although they did have a 4-2 week. After they won, what was it, like 13 of 14, then they went on a 6-game losing streak. Players only meeting for Minnesota. I don't know if it involved sausage or not, but
they throw the sausage at each other.
Yeah. Detroit's 26 and 27. The White Sox, a 1-6 week. They're 15 and 39. They're just a disaster. But now they're getting a new stadium, right?
Yeah, they're building a new stadium, but that's historically bad. And we've had bad White Sox teams over the years, but that's just horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Meanwhile, in the West, it's wide open. Seattle now 29 and 26 on the season. They're in first place, just 3 games over. Big dumper Cal Raleigh hit his 11th home run. Julio Rodriguez with a couple of home runs this week as well. They beat Houston head-to-head because Houston's climbing. Houston's won 9 of 11 games, but they're only 4.5 games back for a team that looked like they were dead. They're actually climbing back, and Justin Verlander struck out 9 over 6 innings against Oakland to increase his strikeout total to 33-77. He passed Greg Maddux for 10th on the career strikeouts list.
Yeah,
Justin Verlander.
I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So good for them and good for the Astros as they are climbing back, and the Angels are in last place in the
But the fact that you said Maddux is crazy to me, because I think we was talking about this a long time ago, Lang, that for somebody who was just so much about a precision and plate placement, the fact that he was striking dudes out with soft pitches is still crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like I still
as many as he did, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you would think that somehow somebody would catch up to it, just because he's not throwing 98, 97.
A lot of them were at least against lefties, he struck out a lot of guys looking, and they would, be on the side of the plate, and he would throw that cutter, and every single one of them, my friends and I used to just watch this and love it. When he got a left-handed hitter with 2 strikes, he threw a cutter every single time. And the guy would be there like this, and it would look like it was coming at him. And at the last minute, it would dart across the corner of the plate, and every guy would go and like raise his hands and jump back out of the way, and then the ball would cut right across the plate, and it'd be strike 3. And he did it every time, and every guy jumped out of the way. It's like, I don't know if like they would scout it and just know it wasn't coming, or just you couldn't stop yourself from moving out of the way, or what. But like my friends and I would watch the games, and we would just wait for him to get a lefty with 2 strikes, and be like, and so we could watch him throw that cutter across the inside of the plate. I don't know how many of his strikeouts were looking, but I bet you it's 25% or higher. Like it seemed like so many of them.
Yeah, he was something special for sure. So is Shohei Ohtani, although he's playing through a hamstring bruise. Hamstring bruise. He only had 6 hits this week. A double, a triple, 2 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. Huh?
Yeah, I've never heard
how
that.
do you bruise it? Bruise it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. Strain, bruise.
Yeah. Do you get hit by a pitch or something?
I don't know. 336 is his average. He's down 17 points this week from 353. He's down to 336. J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez had 7 hits this week, couple of home runs, 5 RBIs, 4 stolen bases. His average went down 9 points, however, down to 265, but pretty decent week for J-Rod. Ellie De La Cruz, only 4 hits on the week, couple of doubles, 2 RBIs, only 1 stolen base. His average went down 11 to 245. And then we have Bobby Witt Jr., the best week again for him. 12 hits, 2 doubles, 4 homers, 11 RBIs, a stolen base. He's hitting 309. That's up 13 points, a 10-game hit streak. He also became the first baseball player to have at least 100 total bases, 30 RBIs, and 15 stolen bases in his first 50 games of a season since Barry Bonds in 1992.
Wow.
How about that for Bobby Witt Jr.?
Wow.
Superstar for the Kansas City Royals. Mason Miller.
Yes.
Yes.
I watched it the other day. He got blown up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Against,
Is it because you watched it?
Well, it was against Colorado. It was against Colorado. I mean, there you go. Colorado.
It's the perfect storm of this fish washing and Colorado.
It was the word. I
if you'd bet on it, he might not have made it out alive.
I bet Colorado.
You did. So yeah.
And they were up 4-1 in the 8th inning.
Right.
The A's score 4, and then they go up 6, or they go up 6 or 5-4.
5-4.
Or no, they go up 5-4 in the 10th. Colorado does. Oakland makes it 5-5. And then in the 11th, Colorado scores 4 runs. They're up 9-5. Oakland comes back and scores 5 in the bottom of the 11th. And I lose the bet. And Mason Miller was blowed up. He had 3 2/3 this week, gave up 3 runs, 2 saves, however, in the week, 7 strikeouts. His ERA is at 1.96, but he is still something else. I mean, he just didn't have control that day, and he was throwing his fastball to the screen a couple times. So it was kind of ugly, but he is something special. And then Paul Skeens, 6 innings pitch, earned run, 3 Ks. 2.25 ERA, and again didn't get a win because his bullpen continues to blow games for him. Yeah. But he's certainly something else. I was 1-5 betting the Cardinals this week. Yeah, I'm 29
See, when they start winning,
you're not used to them being good.
Yeah,
they went 5-1. I kept betting on them. They gotta lose by now. They gotta lose by now.
Don't bet on it. Don't bet them on more fish. Leave it alone.
And then I bet them yesterday, and they lost.
See,
to Cincinnati.
That's the baseball
29
guys.
and 23.
Baseball guys are telling you something, man.
I know. I'm still 29 and 23 betting Cardinals games, so I'm still better than they are. So that's good. This week, the Braves, you got Washington for 4 and then Oakland for 3.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
I mean,
sounds like a get better week.
Yeah, you're going to get healthy. That's
the A's part. I don't know if we're better than the Nationals right now. I hope so.
Oh, wow.
Nationals they're a scary team. Speaking of betting, they're one of those teams you don't want to bet against because they'll sneak up on you. They're right around 500, 3rd place in the East. And then Oakland at home should be fine.
You would think.
The Cubbies at Milwaukee for 4.
Well, man.
And then
I thought we lost fish.
Yeah, I thought we lost you,
man. So what are you going with this week, Murph?
I'm going with hopefully a split with the Brewers. What was the second team?
Cincinnati.
Let's just sweep them, hopefully.
All right.
If we can win 2, if we come out 2-2 with the Brewers and sweep Cincinnati, I'll be a happy man. But in my heart of hearts, I know that's not going to happen.
All right. Cardinals are in Cincinnati for 3, already dropped the opener, and then they go to Philadelphia for 3. So that'll be tough. We'll see what the Cardinals are made of this week. Boston's at Baltimore for 3 games, and Kansas City visits Minnesota, try and separate themselves a little bit there. And then Houston visits Seattle for 4. That's a 4-game series with Houston being just 4.5 back. Seattle did win the opener of that series against the Astros. All right, that's going to do it for us here this week for Infield Fly. Big week for the Cardinals. Looking forward to another one for the Cardinals. Absolutely.
Bet on them, Fish. Bet on them.
I'm starting to bet on the Cardinals, starting to think playoffs again. I don't know. I mean, I already called it over.
I would stop betting on the Cardinals.
You think I should?
Yeah.
Win the division.
Makes
When
watching it so much more fun.
just watch it. You can bet on all the other teams.
Yeah.
Leave your Cardinals. First of all, I don't even condone betting
Oh,
on my team. I don't even know how you do it with a conscience.
He bets against his team a lot.
Yeah, like how could you even do that? That's just terrible, man.
it's a win-win. You either win the bet or your team wins. Boom. It's perfect.
Horrible. Would you bet on your team, Lane? Seriously.
Yeah, sure. If I think they're going to win, if I think they're going to lose, I bet against them.
See?
I'm such a purist. I'm the only purist on this panel.
I went to
That's
the minor league soccer game here the other night, Memphis 901 FC, and they were
Did you
winning.
bet it?
They were winning 1-0 at halftime, and my friend was like, "You think you can bet on these games?" I was like, "Man, you can bet on anything." So I opened up the app. They had Puerto Rican basketball as like the top thing on the app.
No.
I was like, "See, you can bet on anything." But then I found the 901 FC game. I took the live line for Memphis to win. I bet $5 to win 8. They scored another goal and they won it 2-0. So I won the bet. Bet on my team.
There you go.
Yeah.
Made it a lot more fun even, didn't it?
Oh, a lot more fun.
You guys are degenerates. Terrible
whatever.
people. Just terrible people.
Cashed
Terrible.
in.
I know. All right, that's going to do it for us this week here on Infield Fly. For Keith Murphy, for Lang Whitaker, I'm Rob Fisher. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon here on Grind City Media.